Welcome, 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 everyone, to another amazing segment of the Black Girl Encourage Her. I am your hostess, Shaniqua Inspires, and I've got another gem for you. So I hope that you all are in your good seats. You got your water, your control, your notepad, whatever it is that you're going to need to get these words of encouragement. So I want you all to meet one of my sister friends. We've known each other for quite some time, but I get to call her my soror now. So, hey, girl. Everyone, I'd love to
Hey,
introduce you to Marsha. Hey, girl. Hey.
hello,
As I
hello,
mentioned,
soror.
I am so excited to welcome you into Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
Yes.
Congratulations to you for making the wisest choice. Although we know there were many options out there, but making one of the finer choices, we say welcome to you into the organization. And I know that you're going to bring so much with your wealth of experience into and help us to continue to grow and to soar. So I know a little bit about you. I want everyone else to get to know you. So please introduce yourself to the people.
Shaniqua, thank you. Thank you, soror, for inviting me, having me on your show. And like you said, for welcoming me to the finest sorority on the
Yes.
planet, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. I'm just so pleased to take all the skills and the knowledge that I have as a professional and as a philanthropist to really merge the two. And I'm excited for the things that I'll be doing with my chapter um, in Queens, New York. So thank you so much. I'm Marsha Guerrier, guys. I'm the founder of Her Sweet Spot. We are here to help women of color, especially the Black girl, get
Yes.
her mindset, money, marketing, and media on, fill her wage and promotion gap through entrepreneurship, really helping you understand the importance of building out and rethinking what you think should be a side hustle and making it a really sustainable long-term business.
Now, I am so glad that you brought that up because I know people are ready to say, well, you know what? I don't think this is for me, but it is for you. So, Marsha, explain to us in your own words, why having a side business, a full-time business, why being an entrepreneur is so important in this day and age, in your opinion.
I personally felt, and as I entered entrepreneurship, I've always had a little side freelance thing going for years. And
Mhm.
I really didn't see myself as a business person because we're taught that the standard of corporate America is business, right? We're
Yes.
taught that you need to have a brick and mortar to be in business. We're really not taught the true essence and backbone of small business and entrepreneurship from the solopreneur's standpoint. And
Mhm.
so when I started to kind of put things together and realize that I needed more for myself as
Mhm.
an employee, and I found that being an employer was going to give me that more, right? It fills so many buckets. The world of entrepreneurship and small business, we Black women, number one fastest growing group of people starting businesses. We do it for all different reasons. Surveys have shown we do it to get side money so that we can go on vacation, so that we can spend on our families, right? And so that we all these little things. And yet we don't look at it as 7, 8, 10 figure businesses that we can ultimately grow and
Mhm.
become the big corporations that we employ, hundreds and dozens of people. And so I've been working with startups and Fortune 500s for so long, over 30 years in the financial technology industry and financial services, that I sat around one day realizing I'm making the rich get richer with my skills, with my abilities, right? As an analyst to help develop businesses and take their business ideas and grow them with my business development skills. And so I said, you know what? One day I'm going to do this for the women that look just like me. And that's when, the business of Her Sweet Spot started. I had other small ventures prior to this, more creative stuff. But I found that women needed a space to come together, learn from each other, provide each other with the resources we have, demystify the world of entrepreneurship as we
I love
saw
it.
it for white men only, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and get out of the side hustle culture and really start building sustainable businesses that can one day replace your salary, or it doesn't have to replace your salary, but when and if it calls for it, can be a substitution, right?
Yes.
Because in this day and age,
Talk
post
about it.
COVID, Shaniqua,
Yep.
we were also the number one people getting laid off, losing our jobs, and we are the ones to find jobs the slowest, right? And
Yes.
so people were losing jobs post pandemic, and women of color, and then we're taking a lot longer to find new employment, to
Mm-hmm.
get back into the workforce. And in between that time, what do you have? Unemployment? No, runs out, right?
Mm-hmm.
What else can you do to earn money but to operate a business that thrives, that really increases and builds in its revenue stream? And that's what I do, and why I think it's important for people to consider starting a small business even while working your full-time job.
I love it. Marsha, there was so many good nuggets in there, and my brain is just all over the place. But I wanna scale us back just a minute. Now, you talked about where you were professionally, and how you had did this for 30 years, that you've worked and you've been in this field. I wanted to ask you a question personally. Did you see many people that looked like you in the work that you were doing? So when you were working inside of corporate America, did you see many people that looked like you with that skill set?
Absolutely not. Right?
Mhm.
Absolutely not. In all my years of, working in the financial industry, whether it is from the financial services side or the tech side, yes, I would see groups, and I hung out and had friends of all, people of color, but where would they be? They would be at lower level, entry level,
Mhm.
and barely making middle management roles and filling those roles. And never did you see many people of color, especially not a woman,
Mhm.
in those upper management roles and in those leadership roles. So throughout my career, I have been fortunate enough to be promoted, but even in those instances where I was promoted, it was a struggle. I say
Mhm.
this all the time. When you see a Black woman, a woman of color in a leadership, high ranking leadership position, know that she's been through the fire. Know that
Yes.
she has been through some trauma and
Yes.
some hurdles, what I call the audition. Women of
Mhm.
color, I say this all the time. If you've seen my TEDx talk, you would see and hear that, women of color have to audition for the jobs that we're already doing, because they're always
Yes.
asking us to prove, further prove, after we've
Mhm.
done the job, after we've done the thing to get us noticed, right?
Yes.
And to get their businesses and their revenue, their bottom line into a place where they're thriving and successful in the corporation. And yet, when we ask for, not even demanding, but we just simply ask to
Mhm.
get what we deserve, it's always trial periods. It's
Yes.
always, let's see, enter this program and let's see if we could upskill you. You don't have to upskill me. I walked in the door with multiple degrees, because we
Mhm.
are the most highly educated people on the planet again, right?
Yes.
Most educated, fastest growing entrepreneur group. We do all the things right, and to still be in a position where we're underpaid and
Mhm.
undervalued.
Mhm.
This is what leads me to help women start and grow businesses.
I love it. I loved every ounce of that because I'm certain that even every person who's watching can flash back to a moment of time where they felt like they had to audition. And I love that word. Like you've presented your qualifications, you've scored on the interview process, but each and every day you still feel like you have to go through some type of audition process to prove that you are worthy, to prove that you are where you are because you have what it takes. And so,
Mhm.
for those people who are tuning in who can relate to this, to say, you know what, we always have, like, we teach our young boys about having to be not only smart, they have to be talented. This is where we groom our children to say that you have to be the best of the best. The mediocre just doesn't cut it for people who look like us. And I don't want to make this conversation really about like a racial disparity, but really what I want people to make certain that they're tapping into is that yes, even you who has grown comfortable working your 9 to 5 job, you're great at what it is that you do, but you still have a skill set that we let other people take advantage of. And we now have to start to be able to monetize and reposition ourselves so that we get to be the beneficiaries of our skill set. That was one of
That's
the
right.
reasons why I asked Marsha the question about, did she see many people that looked like her doing the things, having the skill set that she's gained over the years? So many of us, we work these jobs and we grow and we grow and we grow. But the minute financial trouble hits us, the minute we need a little bit of extra, what do we look to do? We look to go get another job. So here we are. We already had enough hard enough time getting the first job. Now we want to add an additional job. When you
Mhm.
really can just tap into your skill sets, you just tap into what it is that you already know to take you to that next level. Now, Marsha, I want to ask you another question because, again, I'm setting the stage here because I want to make certain that everybody is tuned in, everyone is tapping into this. Now, Marsha, growing up personally, this is again with little Marsha, right? Growing up, did you see many entrepreneurs? So, did you grow up in a family surrounded by people in business?
You want to know what's so funny? So I'm first generation American here. My family are from all from Haiti. My parents, my grandparents, and the funny thing is here, no, we I was taught, and they came over adapting to this corporate work culture.
Hmm.
Work, get benefits, get, build a pension through the corporate system. It's not till later in life and after I formed Her Sweet Spot that I learned that both my maternal and paternal grandparents were entrepreneurs back home in Haiti.
Hmm.
So it's important to talk to your
Yes.
family. It's important to find out the history of your ancestors because
Mhm.
you will learn a lot about yourself through the generations that came before you. So I learned later in life as I'm going through this journey and supporting other people that both my maternal and paternal grandparents were entrepreneurs in Haiti. They owned their own businesses. They struggled. And so that actual struggle within the entrepreneurship world is what led them to come here to find something different and to kind of,
Mm.
that was our history. I know a lot of people who took that entrepreneurial spirit from their countries and brought it here with them.
Yeah.
But my maternal grandfather, he was really set on not having that type of hardship because
Mm.
entrepreneurship is hard. It
Yes.
is not easy. And
Yes.
so while I didn't really grow up with that because we were taught to get that good,
Mhm.
paying job and climb the corporate ladder if you can. Um, we didn't really I didn't really have that until later on in life.
And I love that. And it's funny how your grandparents in Haiti, they knew about this entrepreneurial journey, but then they wanted something different. So when they got here to America, they said, you know what, we want something different. So work became the driving force. Here we
Yeah.
are today, where many of us, we know work, right? So here in the States, that's what we do. We work, we work, we work. But it's so nice to see that we are having that mindset shift to say, you know what, we need to jump into the entrepreneurial space as well. Because as you
Right.
mentioned, both are hard, right? So working a
Right.
job is just as hard as starting a business,
Right.
depending on what it is that you're doing. So if you're going to commit yourself to working hard, to working long hours, wouldn't you feel better doing something that's going to ultimately benefit you, benefit your family? Because the truth be told, once they decide to close down your job or fire you or you leave that job, that's it. Your
Yeah.
family gets nothing.
Yeah.
But a business, it is something that you can leave for generations to generations to generations. So I love what it is that you do with Her Sweet Spot. Now, first of all, please tell us a little bit about the name. Why the name Her Sweet Spot?
Well, I originally incorporated the business as Women on the Rise NY because I'm here based in New York. And I, at the time, it back in 2014, when I was conceiving this building and really establishing what Her Sweet Spot would ultimately become, I knew that I wanted something that would empower women to get to that C suite, empower women that were on the rise towards the C suite by any means necessary, whether it is corporate America or through entrepreneurship. And for me, the name really gave me the sense of power that I
Mhm.
want women to feel, right? Really, I know it's a play on words, and it's
Yes.
a play. And when you look at the logo and the imagery, it really is supposed to really grab you and inspire you to really push forward. I just want to go back, Shaniqua, and really talk about what, after learning that about my grandparents, I really understood and kind of like thought about it, the resources for them to come here and learn about the American way and building a business and thriving as a successful business here wasn't available to them,
Mm,
right? They came here and didn't know where and how to start and where and how to take things forward. And
mhm.
that is, I feel like, full circle for me, that I get to build this business, Her Sweet Spot, to really celebrate people, to give people the community that they need when building their businesses, the coaching and the education and the tools and the resources they need. And then lastly, we give capital to help fund their business through our Horizon Micro Grant. And, when I look at and when I think about everything that, it's not often that I think about the full circle of
Mhm.
where my ancestors were into where I am now. But when I do, it's just eye opening and really reminds me that this is where I belong and this is
Mhm.
what I was meant to do. And I think through entrepreneurship, people develop their purpose. They start to, we talk about using your skill set from corporate America to design and create the business that you want, but truly adding in passion and purpose
There you go.
would only make it better. How many
Yes.
entrepreneurs do you hear say, I don't go to work, I go and I enjoy what I'm doing in my business?
Mhm.
And the lady from Shark Tank, Lori, she's the one that said, entrepreneurship is the only place where you want to quit a 9 to 5, an 8-hour day to work 24 hours a day.
Endless.
Forget the exact phrase she say, but we're the
Yes.
only people that trying to lose a 40-hour a week job to work 80 hours a week,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But when you're doing it with a passion, and even when
Mhm.
you working for a company and a great boss, that makes you feel good about going to work, you don't see it as, a job. It's not
Yeah.
burden. And so I implore you to really think about what your passions are. How can you merge that with your skill set, right? Maybe fashion is your passion and your job currently is customer service. Build
Right.
a fashion company that sells fashion and have the best customer service,
Yeah.
right? Use your skill set. Learn how to merge the two and bring them together, and let your skills and your passion intersect.
I love it. I love it. And just like you, Marsha, later in life, one day I was at a personal development retreat, and it was a bunch of business women. We were all, hanging around the pool and, just living our best lives, right? Celebrating and honoring where we were in the space of being business women. And it wasn't until we started to reflect back and to dig a little deeper that I realized that I had been exposed to entrepreneurship as a kid. My maternal grandmother, she used to sell candy. Now, of course, as kids, we look at that grandma's just selling candy. But grandma was selling candy. That was her side hustle. That was her business. That was allowing her to have a little extra money coming in so that she
Mhm.
could do the things that she wanted to do, whether it was spoiling on her grandkids. But I used to laugh and say, Grandma still used to tell us to go ask our mother for some money. So she wasn't giving out candy for free. She wasn't giving it away for free, but she would empower us to say, go ask your mama for some money and then come over here and buy some candy.
She
And
was
she'd have
teaching
all
you a lesson. She was teaching
exactly.
a lesson. Even family have to pay.
Exactly, exactly. And you got to pay full price. So
That's
so grandma wasn't giving us extra candy or whatever. She was like, "No, you got to pay full price." But the beautiful part about this, and this is a lesson for us all with supporting our friends and our loved ones who have businesses, is that we have the convenience. So grandma's box of candy was right there, so we could get candy first thing in the morning, even though we wouldn't. We could get candy in the afternoon. We could get candy at late at night. Like we had the connection, we had the access. So
right.
it wasn't that we were getting a discount. What was benefiting us was the fact that we had the connection, we had the easy access to get it. So that's a side note for everyone. Support your friends, support your family who have these side businesses or are in the entrepreneurial space, writing it out as their main way of feeding their family. Just think of it as that you have this access to this individual, so you could text them, you could call them. You've got that convenience where it is that you have to wait until Walmart opens, you have to wait till Target opens. But when you have a friend or a loved one who's in business, you've got your inside connect. So that's one thing to get people in that way of thinking about support. Now, Marsha, I want to talk to you about a little bit more about this side hustle because I really think that everybody has something inside of them that they can do. So, what
Absolutely.
kind of encouragement would you give to someone who's watching and say, I don't think that land of entrepreneurship is for me? What would you say to them?
You know what? It might not be for everyone, and it may not be for you, but you won't know until you try, right?
Mm,
You won't know until you try. It's a matter of testing the waters,
yeah.
but giving it enough time where you can say, I tried it, it worked or it didn't work, right?
Mhm.
Getting all the tools to understand you're not trying to compete at the corporation level. I think that's where people really get stuck, is that they feel they cannot create a business that rivals their multi-million dollar corporate job. That's not what it's really meant to do, right? At that stage, that could be your long-term vision,
Mhm.
but if you are thinking about entrepreneurship, or you've been around folks like Shaniqua and myself, and we talk about this crazy, what is this thing they talking about,
Right.
entrepreneurship and small business side hustles and stuff. If you've been around it and you wanted to kind of learn and experience what it would be like, start with something basic.
Mhm.
What do you love to talk about every day, even if it's not work? Because I do know a lot of people who feel like, well, I don't want corporate to know, I don't want, my job to think I'm doing something. Talk about something and think about something that you enjoy doing every day. Do you like cooking every day? Do
Yeah.
you enjoy baking?
Yep.
Can you make candies? Is that your thing? Do you eat them a lot, so you started making them? Can you start telling people, I make candies and I can sell them to you for your next event?
Yeah.
Right? Don't
Do you
be
do
afraid
hair?
of monetizing.
Do you do hair? Do you do makeup? You
Right.
do your own hair, you make your own clothes. Like these are things that people could really tap into to find their sweet spot. I love that play on words. And another thing that Marsha, you and I have both had this conversation. A lot of people forget about the books.
Yes.
They
Yes.
forget that when you have a book, that now becomes your side hustle. It becomes your side business. So even if you don't want there to be a conflict of interest as far as what it is that you do on the job, these are some simple ideas. Even writing a book could be beneficial. It could be the start of something great
Yeah.
for you.
That's such a great point, because while those listening saying, I don't know what my skill, I don't know what I can
Mhm.
do, but you have something that people come ask you about all the time. How
Yeah.
do you this? What do you think about this?
Yeah.
And you do have a level, people forget that building a personal brand, it is also building a business.
Hmm.
Most of your influencers out there now selling products, they started building a brand, talking about this pen, talking about how they love this pen,
Yeah.
right? And how smooth it writes and how soft it feels to the hand, and telling and sharing their thought leadership about pens, right? And then they took that, brands started to recognize them, they started to monetize them, their thought leadership in this space and the thing that they love to talk about the most. The world of digital, the whole digital landscape right now is all about connecting with audiences. And trust me, monetization is everything in the digital landscape. So if it is something that you're passionate to talk about, start sharing that through published writing.
Yeah.
You create an ebook, create
Yeah.
a workbook. If you're unsure about publishing a full book, you can start with a newsletter.
Hmm.
Start a newsletter sharing your thoughts on your favorite subjects, right? What do you think? Where do you think Essence Magazine started from? Ebony Magazine started from? Where do you think apparel companies that sell, athletic clothes? I have some clients that thought, well, I sell t-shirts and I just sell t-shirts, and they use the word just, and it just
Hmm.
drives me crazy. Nike started off as just a sneaker shoe,
Yeah.
right? Converse started off as a sneaker, a shoe. And then they built these huge brands around what their products. And so you have to envision that long-term growth for yourself. You have to think big and start small. It is okay to start small with that one product that will grow into huge businesses. And don't forget that building a personal brand and developing a thought leadership platform with books, with speaking engagements, don't neglect that as the side hustle that you need to start for yourself. It's not always about an actual service or a product.
Yeah. Yes, I love that. Now, I can hear the people. I can hear them. Yeah, that sounds good. But you know what? It takes money. to make money. And right now, I just don't have the money to be starting no side business, no side hustle, no entrepreneurship journey. I just don't have the money for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a good thing that I brought my soror Marsha here, because this we talked about her being in finances, right? And this is what her sweet spot offers. So Marsha, tell us a little bit about that funding that you help these, these people with a passion, these people that have purpose. Talk about some of this funding that you help them to get.
I've been so fortunate enough to connect with companies like National Grid here in New York that support me in helping to fund women of color small businesses with micro grants. And we do this by giving out a monthly grant every month to women of color by filling out our application. But we also teach you how to get funding, here's the thing I say. Every business requires startup capital. There is startup capital that every business needs in order to be successful, to grow, right? And to connect with customers and to make more money. And you hear a lot, Shaniqua, about you don't need money to start a business. You have a computer. The computer costs money.
True.
The internet the computer is on costs money,
Yes.
right? The softwares that we need to sometimes plug into in order to market and sell our business, our products, our service cost money. So there are startup costs for every single business type. And the HerRise Microgrant was created in order to really help people who have a passion, who shows that they're truly passionate and interested about their industry, prove that they have some knowledge in their industry, and they have resilience and drive to see it through. We give these micro grants to really plant seeds of hope in people so that they could use the money for those small items that they need to get to build out the presence for their digital platforms online and really get their brands into the hands of the people that want to meet them. And one thing that we do, and we pride ourselves in here at Her Sweet Spot, is really helping educate women on how to get your brand investor ready, how to get your brand, how to see yourself as a brand that could potentially be on Shark Tank, potentially pitch to pitch competitions and win, thousands of dollars in grants, get accepted to accelerators if that's your growth. We have a lot of tech startups that are inside Her Sweet Spot as members, and they are out there and they've taken the tools and the lessons that they've learned inside Her Sweet Spot and applied them to getting access to more funding. Because at the end of the day, yes, you need to have startup capital that primarily you need to fund. You can, tap into your networks to help fund that as well. But joining pitch competitions, getting and searching for grants, there is just a plethora of money out there ready to support women of color. But you have to really get your business plan together, your business brand identity together, and really show that you have a good understanding of your industry and that you will do what it takes to get your business to make more money, right? Even though we're giving out equity-free grants to people with our market grants, we're still interested to know that you want to make more money.
Yes. I love it. I love it. So it's not just let's get the micro grant, let's use this as a stepping stone to get further and further. And that's what you can do with your vision, with your purpose, with your passion, with your skill sets. You can take that and you can get to the next level and to the next level and the next level. But you have to be in it to win it. You have to be willing to put forth the effort. You have to be willing to be committed to what it is that you want to, your print that you want to leave the world. Now,
Yeah.
Marsha,
You know, many of our grant winners have gone on not only to increase revenue and build more sustainable businesses, but they've gone on to get more free funding for their business.
ah,
They have been able to take our grant, use it in strategic ways to help them increase inventory or brand identity, and they then feel more confident to go after the 50K pitch competition, to go after the 100K pitch competition, or to submit for higher grants. So I feel like our grant is really that stepping stone into bigger and better things.
that's so beautiful, and such a blessing to be in a position. But that's not all that Her Sweet Spot does. So you've mentioned about some of the trainings, you've mentioned, about the grants, but you also have a conference coming up. Girl, y'all
Yes.
just over there doing it all. Tell us a bit more about this amazing conference that's about to kick off.
Well, Shanika, you know, this is our 10th annual conference, the Her Rise Conference, originally known as Women on the Rise Forum and Expo, but then rebranded when we rebranded to Her Sweet Spot. It is now the Her Rise Conference. We're in our 10th annual production of our conference, where we really bring together women executives, entrepreneurs, leaders, people talking about funding. You are returning for our 10th annual
Yes,
celebration.
ma'am.
You were a speaker a couple pre-pandemic, and
Yes.
now you're coming back. I'm so excited to welcome you back and for you to share your gifts, your skills, and teach women how to monetize what we talked about earlier through self-publishing and through publishing their own work. And I'm excited. We're going to be talking about how truly to get yourself ready for funding success. We're going to be talking about, we go through the 4 pillars of success, that framework that Her Sweet Spot has: mindset, money, marketing, and media. And we take everything we do inside Her Sweet Spot and we apply it to the conference to give women 2 days of strategic education, resources, and inspiration to get them to start, build, grow, and scale their businesses. We are also bringing back our Her Rise Awards, where we will be awarding some executive leadership awards and our Rising Star Awards. There is just 2 days full of real professional and personal development that I'm so excited to bring back live in person at Malloy University in Rockville Center.
All right, and give us the dates. October
20th through the 21st, where we will have our boot camp sessions, where we'll really take you through strategically just learning and applying action and building our mastermind on that day, where we'll take you through some lessons on, again, mindset, money, marketing, and media, teaching you how to get funding ready for funding, teaching you all about how to the inner works of digital marketing happens, and how you can build your own sales funnel and really create the magic that's required so that you can make money while you sleep.
Come
And
on
we'll
now.
have you there helping women really